Bonsoir. On va se lancer avec les Skatalites. Welcome everybody. So, thank you first of all for being here late at night at the end of your after a concert. Merci beaucoup d'être là après un concert un peu tard le soir. It's really a pleasure to have you here. I mean, the Skatalites, it's such a huge honor to have part of the band with me tonight here. C'est un honneur d'avoir une partie des Skatalites avec nous ce soir. So, we're celebrating the 55th anniversary of the band. Yeah? Donc, on célèbre en ce moment le 55e anniversaire du groupe. Doreen, I think you are the sole founder member here amongst us. Oh, sorry, I just realised you don't have a microphone.
Lester Sterling.
Less than
He's a part of it, but he doesn't travel that often.
Oh, yes, Lester,
anymore.
yes. Okay, but
well,
with
yes,
us tonight...
as female, I'm the only.
Yeah, so you were there from the beginning?
From the beginning,
Okay,
yes.
donc Doreen, avec nous ce soir, était là dès le départ. Donc c'est quand même assez incroyable quand on s'imagine que les Skatalites célèbrent leur 55e anniversaire cette année. I mean, it's kind of too much to handle. I mean, what does it feel like
I
to
feel
have...
that way too. I can't believe it's happening.
Je disais, ça nous dépasse de penser à ce genre de choses, une carrière de 55 ans. Do you feel like you've got there at one point, or do you feel you're still learning things?
It's never enough.
Est-ce qu'on sent comme si on avait atteint
It's a long road.
quelque chose?
It's never enough.
It's
so
never
you
enough.
just keep going. You just keep going for the love of the music and for the love of people.
It's beautiful. Oui, moi, ma question, c'est comment on fait? Comment on se sent après 55 ans de carrière comme ça? Est-ce qu'on se dit qu'on a atteint un certain niveau à un moment donné, ou est-ce qu'on a toujours l'impression d'apprendre des choses et d'avancer? Et Doreen nous dit donc que c'est l'amour de la musique et l'amour du peuple, des gens, qui font qu'on est là encore et encore et encore. So just the love of the music, the love of the people. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible because... You know, we all have passions in life. We all, but to not ever be tired of being on tour, you know, constantly being on stage. It's a tiring job. C'est un travail fatigant d'être en tournée, d'aller sur scène, de faire danser les gens, make people dance. I mean, how do you find the energy continuously? Comment est-ce qu'on trouve cette énergie?
I find it from the audience because they're a part of what we do.
Yeah. So
if there's no audience, then you wouldn't have a show.
Yeah. So this cycle.
I send it, yes.
Yeah,
you send it out
and it comes back. Donc
yes.
on envoie de l'amour et on le réceptionne, et c'est ce cycle qui fait qu'on continue et que ça perdure dans le temps.
Exactly.
Yeah. So who do we have? Maybe you could introduce yourselves individually. Ken, yeah?
Hi, I'm Ken Stewart. I'm the keyboard player and the manager of the band, and I joined the band in 1988.
1988, ok, donc Ken est au clavier, c'est aussi le manager du groupe, et il a rejoint le groupe en 1988. Forcément, quand on a un groupe qui a débuté dans les années 60, on n'a pas forcément les mêmes membres depuis le départ. C'est un groupe qui est particulier parce qu'il se renouvelle en permanence. Donc, is that 31 years? Are my calculations right? 31 années dans le groupe. Doreen, could you present yourself quickly, even though we know you?
My name is Doreen Schaefer, and I'm an original member of the Skatalites. I started at Studio One, and the very first person, I went for an audition.
Yeah.
And it so happened that I was introduced to Lloyd Knibb, who everyone knows as the drummer for the Skatalites. He was the drummer originally for the Skatalites. So that's where my career started.
Donc sa carrière a commencé quand elle a auditionné pour rejoindre le groupe des Skatalites. C'est une des membres fondatrices, et elle a rencontré le batteur du groupe, et c'est à ce moment-là que sa carrière s'est lancée. Thank you. Mr. Cole.
Yes.
Hello.
It's good to be here, you know.
Lovely to have you.
Yes. Thank you very much, you know.
Can you just tell us who you are and how your collaboration, I suppose, with the Skatalites came about?
Well, I'm Stranger Cole originally, you know. And I am the original Skatalite. Because the story goes like this. My first #1 and #2 record was made by the Skatalite. One was called Rough and Tough, and the other, When I Call Your Name. So I am Skatalite. And then I went on to make many more songs with the Skatalite. Cockadoo, Run Joe, and Artie Bell. I took my girl to the World Fair with me and Ken Bood and all of that. And many more. So I'm not really a stranger to the Skatalite. I am family.
Donc Stranger Call, que je parlais de collaboration, étant donné que c'est pas un membre du groupe, mais il dit que je suis les Skatalites parce que ses premiers morceaux phares qui ont eu des réussites, Rough and Tough and what was the second one?
When I Call Your Name. Yes.
Ces deux singles qui sont sortis.
Also
so when did this
Run
come
Joe.
out? In the 60s?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
60s.
Là, on
All
est-
of these songs is from
So
the
we-
60s.
Donc c'est tôt dans les années 60. C'est les Skatalites qui ont composé ces morceaux avec lui et qui ont fait un succès avec lui de ces morceaux. Donc il dit je suis les Skatalites d'une manière.
Yes.
And we also have Natty Frenchie.
Bonsoir, merci.
Alors on peut se parler en français.
Voilà.
Tu es le seul membre français du groupe?
Actuellement, sur cette tournée, on a un autre Français qui est Benjamin, qui joue le saxophone pour cette tournée.
Benjamin.
Car notre saxophone ne pouvait pas faire la tournée. Donc on a Benjamin qui est avec
D'accord.
nous ce soir.
You have 2 French members in your band now. Yeah?
Voilà.
One and
Pour
a
le moment, je suis là.
1.5.
Oui.
Depuis combien de temps tu fais
Non,
partie
ça
du
fait
groupe?
10 ans maintenant.
10?
10, oui.
D'accord.
Bon, c'est pas beaucoup par rapport à l'âge du groupe.
C'est
mais
déjà une
c'est
décennie.
Déjà 10,
Et
Voilà.
comment est-ce que tu vis cette expérience de rejoindre ce groupe mythique jamaïcain?
C'est un honneur et c'est une bonne expérience. Hein, de
Sorry for the
jouer.
French.
C'est un honneur de jouer la musique des d'être dans la continuité des Skatalites
Oui.
et de jouer cette musique et de tourner le monde et d'apporter la musique et de voir que les nouvelles générations,
Ouais, que ça perdure.
voilà.
Ouais. Rough and Tough, the song you were talking about, it's the name of the tour right now, yes?
Still rough
Still
and
rough and
encore
tough.
rough et tough.
On parlait de la chanson de Stranger Call tout à l'heure, Rough and Tough, qui était un de ses premiers singles. C'est le nom de la tournée actuelle européenne. Enfin, c'est pas tout à fait Rough and Tough, c'est Still Rough and Tough. Donc toujours Rough and Tough. Je pense que vous comprenez quand même le sens. Je vais pas le traduire. Okay, so how did one originally become a Skatalites member in the early days? You auditioned? Yes, thank you.
In the early days, most of those men were musicians, going from one recording different studios, but they were always involved at Studio One.
Yeah,
I went there for an audition,
yeah,
and then I was told by Sir Coxon
Yeah.
just to wait. And so when they took a break, the first person who came out, he introduced me,
yes.
and that was Lloyd Nib. And I was getting ready to record with them. At that time, when they did form the band, there were 16 members. You
À
had
l'origine,
four-
donc, oui, I'm
you
sorry.
had 4 vocals,
Yeah,
and you had Lord Tanamo, Jackie Opel,
yes,
Tony DeCosta, and myself.
okay.
So you
On
had 4,
vocals.
but 16.
Yeah.
16 people were involved at that time.
Ma question portait sur la façon dont on a intégré le groupe à l'origine, sorry. Ça se passait par des auditions, on l'a entendu avec d'autres artistes de la même génération dans les jours précédents. Et Dorine nous explique qu'à la base, donc ils étaient 16 membres, 16 members in the band, 16 membres dans le groupe.
Don Drummond, there was
Don Drummond.
There was
Can you speak in the microphone?
Don Drummond,
Yeah.
and there was Dizzy Johnny,
Dizzy Johnny, yeah.
and there was Lloyd Nib
Yeah.
as drummer, and there was Lester Sterling,
Lester Sterling,
there was Tommy McCook,
yes,
and there was Jerry,
yeah.
he started out as a guitarist.
Yeah.
And so right down the line, it was just full.
Yeah.
Harold, Jackie Mitu on keyboard. So it
And-
was a very big orchestra.
Yeah, yeah. So that's in the 60s. You arrived in the 80s. Donc, elle nous parle des années 60. Vous êtes arrivé dans les années 80. What was it like in the 80s to join the band?
I saw the band. I didn't know what Jamaican ska was. I saw the band in '87, and I just was in love immediately, amazed that such a thing existed and I hadn't known about it. So I said to somebody, I said, boy, if I could be in any band, that would be the band. And within 6 months, the drummer of the Skatalites became the drummer of this little reggae band that I played in Rhode Island, which just happens to be the smallest state in the United States. And I was like, what are you doing here? So he said, well, the Skatalites, you know, we came to the U.S. to try and do something, but it's not really taking. Nothing's happening. So I ended up getting a chance. Jackie Mitu was living in Canada. Tommy, Roland, several of the band members had moved to the United States on their own because the band disbanded in 1965 officially.
Yeah.
So then an album was made in the 70s that's known as African Roots. It's been re-released several times. That was all done like by mail. They sent the tape to Miami because some of the guys were in Miami, some of them were in Kingston, some of them were in New York. So then they made another reunion album. They made two. They made one that was called Rolling Steady, which in '83, this was now. They made an album called Rolling Steady, which was all the originals except Don Drummond, who has passed away. And then within a few months, they already started arguing with each other and fighting amongst each other. So they already, the next album that got made, which was The Return of the Big Guns, which was signed to Island Records, or Mango, which was a subsidiary of Island. And that, by that time that happened, Dizzy, Johnny, and Jackie Mitu were not on the album because they had already had a falling out with Tommy.
Difficult to get along with
It
so
was
many
always
people
about
in a band.
the clashing egos.
Yeah, I mean...
They were the most talented musicians on the island, all in one band. So it was pure argument most of the time. Some people didn't have a thing to say, couldn't get a word in edgewise.
But do I understand correctly? So the Skatalites, they were not taking off in the 80s, and they had another band that they were touring with. There were some people
No,
and
there
you
was no other band.
Because you said the way you were introduced in the band. How did that happen?
The way I was introduced in the band was when Lloyd Knibb came to play with me in this reggae band,
Yes.
and he made it clear that there was an opening because Jackie
Yeah.
was not getting along with Tommy. He was living in Toronto. It was too far away for him to come to New York-based gigs.
Okay, but it's through a connection. You knew each other. There were no longer any auditions.
I went to an audition finally in '88, and I got the position, and I was in the band for about a year, and we only played about 10 shows.
Okay.
And I was a little baffled because we had the same manager as Third World, Toots and the Maytals, some of the bigger reggae bands. So I was like, why aren't we touring? Why does this man, Lloyd Knibb, have to come and play in this band with me? That's what happened. The guy was babysitting and doing odd jobs because he was trying to make a living. So anyway, ultimately, I got permission from the band to seek an agent and form a tour. Oh, the other thing that happened was...
I might have to stop you in a minute because
sorry.
this is a lot to
It
translate.
is. It's a lot.
Je...
It's a whole book, actually.
On vient d'avoir un début de roman là qui vient d'être dit. Ça va être un peu dur pour moi de tout traduire. Ma question était sur les différences d'intégration, parce qu'à la base, c'était des auditions. Je voulais savoir si 20 ou 30 années plus tard, on avait toujours les mêmes procédures pour intégrer le groupe. Effectivement, il y avait des auditions, mais ça se faisait aussi par connexion. Et puis, ça a parlé forcément de cette période de creux qu'il y a eu avec le groupe entre les années 60 et les années 80. Et il y a eu pas mal d'histoires là qui ont été dites. Je vais écourter, on va continuer.
À sa tempe, il y a Roland Alfonso, Tommy McCook, Lester Sterling, Lloyd Knibb, Lloyd Brevet. And they were living in New York City, so they filled in different members. They had the core.
Ouais, il y avait la racine du groupe était là au moment où Ken a intégré le groupe, et il y avait des ouvertures, il y avait des disponibilités, donc un peu de heureux hasard, on va dire, a little bit of serendipity, a little bit of happy coincidence. There were some openings at the right time for you, and that's how you integrated the group. Yeah. Okay, that was a lot of information. I'm sure. Stranger, maybe you can tell me what's interesting to us about you is obviously your experience, and I'd like to know, because the band is now constituted of elder generation and younger generation, what do you think is the most important thing that the elder generation bring the young ones, and also what do the young ones bring the elder generation? I'm just going to translate that question very quickly. This will give you a few seconds to think about the answer. La question que j'ai posée, c'est qu'au niveau de ces différences de génération qu'on retrouve dans ce groupe, quels sont les facteurs principaux que les générations plus âgées peuvent amener aux plus jeunes et que les plus jeunes peuvent amener aux plus âgés?
Well, what I can say really is that what was hidden from the wise and prudent revealed to babe and suckling, and then each one teach once. And music is like a relay. You have to pass on the baton. So what I really have to say in a whole is that the younger generation, they have to take a page from our book to fulfill their composition in their book. So that is happening today. If you listen to most of the today song, you can hear some old things in it. So people is using the old thing to make a new thing. So it's all intertwined. It's all about Jamaica, yes.
Yeah. Tout ce mélange, c'est pas vraiment une question de transmettre. C'est une question de transmission, mais d'échange surtout. Il faisait l'allusion à comme les courses où on se relaye le bâton. Je sais pas exactement comment on appelle ça, mais le bâton pour voilà, on se passe quelque chose et on se transmet des choses. Ça tourne dans les deux sens. It goes in both ways. You bring each other things, in different things. Depending on your experience. And what are you learning from the younger generation today? Qu'est-ce que vous apprenez des jeunes aujourd'hui?
Oh, I learn a lot from the younger generation because, like I say, the Bible says, you can learn from the little children, and they have ideas too, But if you grow the children in the way they're supposed to grow, then all of that growth is taken from the parents. So, I can see a lot of younger artists who take the trend of my music, which is ska, rocksteady, and reggae, and dancehall, because all of the music is Jamaica. And another thing I want to say before I go, the people of Jamaica, they didn't stay one place where music is concerned. They always seeking for changes. Yeah. That's why you had the ska, then you have the rocksteady, and now you have the dancehall, which is all Jamaica. But my little part that I want to put in right now, we are in dancehall, and we have no other place to go at the moment. So we're going back to ska. That's why I'm here with the Skatalites.
Ok. Donc on parle de transmission encore une fois, mais on parle aussi des différents genres musicaux et de tout cet échange. C'est pas très facile de retranscrire ce qu'il vient de dire, mais on va dire que c'est une expression de l'amour de son pays et des différents échanges qu'il peut y avoir dans les différents types de musique qu'on y trouve. C'est tellement riche. Il y a le rocksteady, il y a le dancehall, il y a le raga, il y a le reggae, il y a le ska. Et là, en ce moment, le focus pour lui est sur le ska. Et c'est pour ça qu'il est en train de tourner avec les Skatalites en ce moment. How many songs in the repertoire? Combien il y a de chansons dans le répertoire des Skatalites? It's like volumes. On parle
Ça
de volumes.
dépend des concerts, du temps qu'on a pour jouer.
Oui.
Mais sinon, bon, moi personnellement, dans 40 chansons peut-être, 50.
Oui. How often do you write new songs together?
Non, ça, si on va au studio.
Alors, pardon, je vais traduire d'abord. Comment est-ce que vous y prenez pour écrire ensemble quand on est aussi nombreux?
Non, c'est si on va au studio, chacun ramène une chanson.
Chacun ramène.
Voilà, et puis après ça se fait aussi, bon, si le bassiste a une idée, le bassiste il fait la basse,
Oui.
ou le batteur sans... mais quelqu'un ramène une base.
Oui,
Généralement c'est comme ça.
oui.
Et puis les paroles, ça peut être une collaboration aussi.
Ah oui.
Voilà.
The lyrics are written together, he's saying. You often participate, different people participate in the writing of the lyrics. You write your lyrics? Yeah.
Take it to the musicians.
Yeah.
I take it to Frenchie, and he would help me because back in those days, that's what I used to do. I would take it to Studio One.
Yeah.
And Cox would look over it and say, okay, we're going to work on that.
Donc, chacun amène, c'est comme se réunir pour un repas, chacun amène un plat, on va dire. Le bassiste va amener sa ligne de basse, celui qui chante va amener quelques paroles, chacun amène un petit peu. So you all, I was saying it's a little bit like gathering together for a meal. Everybody brings something to eat, you know, and you all sit it on the table. And,
On cuisine.
yeah, I'll bring the salad and you bring the... and then you all eat together. Okay. So is your life... Sorry.
I just wanted to say something about, we talked about how many songs.
Yeah.
And
On parle du nombre de chansons.
There's literally hundreds of instrumentals.
Donc on parle de centaines d'instrumentaux.
Il y a Studio One, Treasure Isle, King Edward's, Prince Buster, Beverly's, Matador. There was like at least 10 studios, and they record Randy's. And there was 10 CDs worth of material released in the 90s just on Randy's.
Yeah.
Ah oui, sur le matériel pour les Skatalites, il y en a des centaines et des
And then when you
centaines.
count all the vocalists that they backed, now we're into the thousands, way into the
Ok, donc
thousands.
on parle même pas de centaines de chansons, on parle de milliers de chansons. Donc voilà, je sais pas si on peut se rendre compte réellement.
Il y a, avant les Skatalites existaient comme Rough and Tough, because he says it was the Skatalites, but Skatalites didn't really exist at that time.
Yeah.
It was the same guys that became the Skatalites.
Yeah, it was in the process.
And that's why they became the Skatalites, because they recorded literally hundreds of hit tunes. Nobody knew who one guy was.
Yeah.
As far, they didn't put the names on the records. So they created the band because they wanted to play live and then play those songs. And the people say, oh, it's those guys that made that.
But you see, having so many songs, I wonder if this puts enough pressure on you to continue creating. Est-ce que le fait d'avoir autant de chansons, ça met suffisamment, entre guillemets, la pression pour continuer à créer?
It's not a pressure.
It's not the right word.
Creating. Creativity come out of the atmosphere.
Yeah,
You
I
know, that's
understand.
how I know it.
Mais la
you know?
créativité, ça sort de
Yeah, you
l'atmosphère, c'est
can
pas
be
une pression.
walking along the street and you hear a bird whistle like Bob Marley said, two little birds and all of these things, and you start to make up something. So your whole life is creation, you know?
Yeah.
So we create everywhere
Tout
and
est
anywhere.
Tout est question de créativité, étant donné que tous les inspirent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. bon, ils ont des idées à la seconde. Chaque chose de la vie les inspire, donc forcément, c'est une créativité, c'est un puissant fond. Et autant il y a des milliers de chansons qui existent, je pense que des milliers encore pourraient se créer. It's wonderful, it's wonderful. Est-ce que peut-être des gens ont des questions, parce que je m'emballe un petit peu? Vous avez peut-être envie de participer aussi? C'est bon pour l'heure? On va s'arrêter? Oh, it's time to stop. I was asking if anybody had any questions, but it's the end of the time we have. Well, it was fabulous to have you and to talk with you. It's really a pleasure and an honor for me. And,
Merci à vous, merci à vous.
Merci
un plaisir.
beaucoup, merci. And I hope that you will continue to have
Thanks for
ideas
having us.
every second,
Yeah,
and that
thank
every time
you.
you see something, you want to write a song. All the best for you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.